So if anybody hasn't done Yogilates before, it's essentially Pilates and yoga combined. When we're closer toward the beginning part of class, you get more of the Pilates section, and the further we travel into class, the more yoga you'll get. I recently discovered tomorrow is Earth Day, so we're going to do a special Earth Day thing tomorrow. But helping us lead up to that, today with our Yogilates, we're going to focus a lot on the legs because that's kind of our grounding aspect of our body. So that's our focus for today. And so as we're traveling through our class, just imagine that simple image of us strengthening our roots, sending more energy, more strength, more focus all the way down into our legs, to our feet, to our hips. And we'll include other areas, of course. We always hit the core, the back, different areas like that in Yogilates. So good overall strength with that focus on the legs today. And so let's begin coming all the way down to lay onto our back. So as we're making our way all the way down to lay onto our back, begin to feel all of the surface area that's touching the ground, that's touching the earth right now. So feeling and relaxing through the heels. Huge breath in and out. Feeling the calves. The thighs up to the glutes. Feel the rib cage and the shoulders. The arms and the hands, and feel the back of the head resting down onto the earth. Imagine that any part of our body that's touching the earth at any point is connecting to energetic roots. And so it's different than a plant where they have solid physical roots that you can see the whole time. It's different than that because we can move, we can shift where our connection to the earth is. But imagine just energetically, anything that touches down at any point ever, as we go throughout the day today, imagine we suddenly have roots just sprouting down. And then when we lift up a foot, for instance, those roots come back up, getting ready to spread down to the next connection to the earth. And in this way, we constantly have that nourishing force, that downward flow of energy. And so take 3 more breaths just to feel all those points of the body that are connected to earth right now. Feel the roots grounding down through all of that. Another huge breath in, the deepest that your lungs can hold. And a good relaxing breath out. And then from here, start to introduce your knees inward toward the chest. Bringing the hands onto the knees, take a few moments to just roll around the hips and the sacrum. And it's fun as we're rocking around on that sacrum to imagine the roots shifting to the right hip, the root shifting to the left hip, kind of getting ready to ground down with whatever touches down at any point. Good. So with that sacrum nice and massaged, very happy. Let's let this left leg rest all the way down. Right leg begins to stretch up to the sky. Taking a few moments just to stretch the leg out. You're holding on to whatever you can reach. The thigh, the calf, the ankle. And begin to straighten the leg out, extending the heel upward as much as you can feel, as much as you can extend and reach. Walking the hands a little bit higher, lift the forehead up, getting the forehead as close to the knee as possible. Good, and then dropping the hands to hover above the ground. Let your second leg, that left one, hover above the ground also, and we do some straight leg switches. Exhale, left foot comes up. Exhale, right foot comes up. A good exhale for each and every switch, because that exhale helps us to contract the core through the strongest part of the motion. That helps us to build the muscles in a lean way. So exhale, exhale. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If your left leg is up, leave it there. Have the head rest down and hands grab on left. If you've got the right leg up, just switch legs. And again, we start with this extension, starting to extend the heel up. Find as much length as possible through the back side of the leg. If the ankle needs some loosening, that's also fine. Just roll it out for a moment. Starting to walk the hands a little bit higher, bring the forehead in toward the knee. Now the right foot begins to hover. We prepare for the same switches. Exhale, switch, exhale, switch. If your core is getting a little bit tired by this point, you can use the hands on that top leg each time, helping to pull it in, pull it in. Keep the breath flowing. When we're working on strengthening, that's one of the most important things we can focus on is the breath, because if we stop breathing, we're putting our body into an anaerobic state. That's not the most optimal way to keep these repetitions going. So exhale, switch, exhale, switch. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. Plant both feet. Rest the head down. Hands rest on the floor next to the hips. Let's take a few rounds of bridge pose. Following the breath. Inhale, we rise up. Tailbone lifts first, then hips, then vertebrae. And rolling down one vertebrae at a time. Exhale. Inhale to rise. Exhale down. Inhale. And exhale. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. From here, right leg points up to the sky. We try to lift the hips back up. Hips go down. Exhale, plant the right foot, left leg up. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, then switch. Bringing us back to that image of the root. When the foot plants, that becomes the main root from which the posture grows. And so perhaps imagine that root going strong and deep to help us lift. Imagine the root system that a plant would have to create an arch like this with our hips. So that's the energy we're trying to create. Let's take 3 more to each side. 3. 3. And by the way, in this class, if you ever need to take breaks, that's okay. If I'm going too much, Take little breaks and join again when you can. And let's take one more set. Up. And up. Good. When we rest down, bring the bottoms of the feet together. The thighs opening out to each side like a cobbler's pose. And even let the arms rest up overhead, giving the low back a chance to arch just a little bit. Very good. This next exercise that we're going to take is similar to crunches, and there's two different parts to it. We leave the legs open with the knees pointing outward just like they are in this cobbler pose right now. So feet stay just like that. The first half of it, we use an exhale to lift the arms up and try to reach through the legs, lifting as much of the back off the ground as possible. Inhale, lower back down. The hands drop down by our sides, and then the second half is that the legs lift up toward us. We try to get as much of the hips off the ground as possible. Lower back down, arms raise, inhale, exhale, reach. Drop the hands down, exhale, hips lift. So going back and forth between upper body, planting hands, lifting hips, lower body. Inhale each time we're on the ground preparing. Exhale each time that we lift. This is really helpful because we're getting the upper rectus abdominis for the first half, and then the lower rectus abdominis for the second half. Let's aim for 5 more if you're still doing okay. 5. 5. 4. 4. 3. 3. 2, 2, 1, and 1. Good. Resting back down for a moment. Lots and lots of work there. You'll notice I like to do a couple of hard things right at the beginning to get our body moving. It's almost like getting us into this mental state of the Yogilates. After a while, we get into this rhythm where it's like, okay, the body's in this mode of working, let's keep on going. It's great. We take these little moments to have a break so that we get a chance to tune back into our heart, back into our breath, slowing it down, and back into those roots we have energetically connecting with any surface area of our body that's touching the ground. Take 3 more breaths. And then you're going to want to roll onto the side that will help you face toward the screen. So the side that's away from you, pick it up, flip it over. You're in this nice side position. I usually like to have that bottom elbow down and then my head supported by that bottom hand. And for this first one, we're going to do a couple of sets of side leg work stuff today. For this first set, the legs are essentially in a nice 90-degree angle. So from your hips, they go straight toward the screen, and then they go straight down parallel with the edge of the mat from that point. So we've got a couple of different things we'll do from this shape, and then we'll flip ourselves over to be on the other side for side number 2. So the very first thing that we're going to be doing is simply keeping both legs in each shape. The bottom one stays grounded. Feel those roots connecting down. And then the top thigh opens up as wide as it can, and then slowly come back down. Imagine you've got a rubber band around your thighs. So you're creating your own resistance, moving through molasses as that top thigh lifts and lowers. This helps us to get into both inner and outer thigh. You don't want to just be going through the motion. This is something I was working on with my husband yesterday with some weight training. You don't want to just be like, relaxing your muscles as you come down, and you don't just want to, just contract on the way up. Feel that outer thigh. Feel all those muscles that need to contract, even the glutes that contract to lift the thigh up, and then even keep them contracted on the way down so that it's slow and with control. Let's take 5 more of these, going up, and keep it contracted, going down. 4, 3, 2, and 1. When it comes down, take a few extra breaths. Just letting those muscles completely have a moment to rest, taking a little break. From here, the toes stay glued together. We imagine the knees are like the opening of a clamshell, and so the knees slowly rotate up and slowly compress down. Feel that same contraction the whole time. The contraction helps it lift. The contraction slowly lowers it down with control. Here's 7, and down. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great, let it rest for a few more breaths. We've got 1 more in this set before we switch sides. With this next one, we bring the leg up a little bit higher than hip level. That top leg is lifted. And then we go back and forth like a teeter-totter. The knee touches, and then we lift back up. And then the toe touches and lift back up. Let's repeat that a few times. 10, 10, 9, 9, 8, 8, 7, 7, 6, 6, 5, 5, 4, 4, 3, feel the burn, 3, we're almost there, 2, 2, 1, and 1. Press your way up to sit. That thigh that you were just working, take that same ankle up onto your other thigh. This external rotation of the hip gives those muscles that we're just working on the outer thigh a chance to stretch out. So from this shape, you've got a few options. If you keep your hands planted behind you, this is a nice gentle option. You can even take one hand up to that knee to help it rotate open. If you want to go a little bit deeper, this foot that's on the ground, you can scoot it closer toward your body. That increases the steepness, making the hip stretch even more. And only if you're easily able to get here and you still want more, then you can come up and start to hug around that leg. This is the hardest because sometimes the balance isn't quite there. But if this is working for you, go for it. Give that hip a few good breaths too to help relax. We don't often use those muscles, so just doing a few reps, you start to feel it immediately. So help to just breathe and relax the body now for this little break that we're taking. Another huge breath into the body. A good exhale. When we start to release this thigh, shift your way down to lay down onto your second side. So you're down on the ground, your head is supported by the bottom hand. Notice I'm not using left and right because some of us might have started on different sides. So we're going with top and bottom for this one. Notice how this top hand, it's not just kind of like just resting here just because that's where the hand naturally goes. It's planting into the ground so that our chest can contract and even our core can contract to find some stability through the chest. Through these leg things that we're doing right now, it's not quite as significant, but in a series that we'll do shortly, that is going to make a difference for the ability. Otherwise, our chest will be flopping around like crazy. And so you can already start to practice that right now. Top hand rests down. Find that nice 90-degree angle shape with the legs. The knees going directly toward the screen and then the toes shooting down parallel with the mat from there. Top leg lifts directly up as high as it can go. Remember, find that contraction and keep it contracted as you slowly lower. Here's 9. And down. 8. Keep the breath flowing. 7. Slow inhales, slow exhales. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. And 1. Good. As it slowly comes down, let it rest. Completely relaxing through the muscles. Take a moment to mentally imagine all the roots, especially those connected with that bottom leg. Especially since we're on the second side and the thigh that's touching the ground right now was the part that was just burning a couple of minutes ago. As we've got that going on, imagine that those roots that are connecting that part of the thigh down into the ground are helping to nourish it, feeding it with strength, with energy, for everything that's here to come up shortly. Here we're ready for the second one. This one, the toes are stuck together, and then like a clamshell, the knees open and close. So slowly lifting it up, 10, and down. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it rest and relax for a moment. Okay, last one here. This one, we bring the top leg up a little bit higher than hip level, and then the knee drops down, and then back up, toes drop down and back up. Repeating 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, resting it all the way down, pressing our way up to sit. That top ankle, take it onto the other thigh, and then do whichever version helps you to feel that really good outer thigh opening. So maybe just staying back, leaning here, maybe one hand pushing that knee open, maybe you're scooting bottom toes closer to the glutes, or doing that entire hug all the way around, whatever is helpful. From here, as we start to release, let's take a few poses kneeling. So when you're all the way on hands and knees, you're going to take the right knee out to the side and then trace that right knee in 3 large circles as wide as it can go. So choose one direction, maybe clockwise and around. 2 and 1, and then reverse direction. Counterclockwise. 3, 2, and 1. Drop that knee down. Second knee takes 3 directions clockwise. 2, 1, and counter. 3, 2, 1. Good. We got those inner thighs burning again, filling down to that side part. So now we're going to work with the glutes a little bit. What we're going to do from this nice kneeling position is take the right leg out, trying to get the knee level with the hip, and then lift the rest of the toes upward so the foot is above the knee. So from these nice 90-degree angle shapes, what we're going to do is pump the foot up and down, up and down. This makes the glutes have to contract to lift it. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Drop that knee down. Take a few huge hip circles. We rock the shoulders forward. We rock them as far over to the right as we can, then back, over to the left and back up. Reverse directions, going left first now. And around. One more time right. And one more time left. Beautiful. Back up to neutral, second side. Left foot comes out with the foot above the knee, pumping up and down. Exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. Here's 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good, drop it down. 2 more huge hip circles. Remember the first one, you take one direction and then immediately reverse. Once more to each direction. And reverse. Great work. Flip around to lay all the way onto your back. Good. Connecting with our core again, open the arms and legs into a figure X on the ground. So legs are a little bit wider than that. Arms are a little bit wider than that, up overhead. From here, we do a series of 2 exercises, and it's 2 exercises to each side, and then we switch to the second side. It's going to be opposite, so anytime you're using the right arm, you use the right leg. So the first part of the exercise is that the right elbow tries to come up and touch the right knee, and then return back to the figure X, and then both arm and leg are straight, right fingers to those left toes, and back down. Second side, left arm and right leg, doing elbow, and return, and then straight arm and leg. Good, and just repeat that a few times. So crossing elbows and straight arm and leg. Elbow and straight. Exhale, exhale. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, resting a few extra breaths in this figure X shape. Feel that heart alive for you. Feel so much surface area connecting down to the ground. Okay, rolling over onto your side body, the one that faces you toward this screen. We're taking our second set of side leg exercises. So the first thing we need to do is set up in a banana shape. And so our upper body is in one line. The legs get brought in, the legs are straight and they're brought in to a little bit less than 45 degrees. So maybe like 30 degrees or so inward. So it's the nice shape of a banana. Remember, this is where the top hand is very important to keep it connected into the ground. So the shoulders, rather than being flopping around, they're trying to stay still, and core is nice and tight, very engaged. So the first exercise we're going to do here, the top thigh rotates up as much as you can. It's as if the knee and the toes are trying to point up. Usually they can't go all the way, but they're trying to go as much as they can. Bottom leg is grounded. It has those roots connecting down to the earth. So from here, we do a quick exhale, lifting the leg up as high as you can. Inhale, flex the foot, slowly lower. Point the toes, huge exhale. Inhale, slowly lower. Here's 7. Exhale, 6. And 5. 4. 3. 2. and 1. Beautiful. Let it rest for a few moments. Now taking tiny circles, this top leg is going to come about level with the hip and trace little tiny circles, 10 to each direction. So here's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax it down. Okay, from here, the top leg comes level with the hip. We kick the leg straight forward as much as we have the flexibility for, and then bend the knee. As the leg starts to extend behind us, straighten the leg, sending the toes as far back as we have the flexibility. And then that straight leg kicks all the way forward. Bend the knee, send the toes back, the leg becomes straight behind us. 3 more of that direction. 3, and back, 2, and 1, and back. From here, right away, we're going to reverse the direction. And so we bend the knee, extend the leg forward as high up as you can, swing the straight leg back. Bend the knee, straighten it in front of you, and swing it back. 3 more in this direction. 3, and back. 2, and back. 1. And back. Good. Rest this both thighs on top of one another. We've got one more thing before we switch directions. One more good inhale and exhale. Okay, this last one is called hot potatoes. The top foot taps twice on the ground in front of the other foot. It hops up. You choose how high, usually about 2 feet is good, but if you want to go higher, that's fine. And then you tap down twice on the ground behind the other leg. It hops up, hot potato in front, tap twice, hot potato behind, tap twice. Just keep on going. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Bending both knees. Press your hands into the ground. You're coming up to this little side tucked feet position. The hand that's closer to the feet grabs onto those ankles. The hand away from the feet stretches up and over toward the feet direction. Rising up, the bottom leg comes out in front of you so that you can stack the thigh that was just working, that leg, stack it on top. Trying to come to fire log position. If both hips are not able to be completely on the ground, the top leg can just drop down instead into a simple cross-leg position. And from here, we walk the hands forward. Ooh, getting that nice outer thigh and glute stretch going on. Okay, rising back up. You're going to swing yourself around to land the ground in the other direction. Remember, this is a banana shape. Torso's in one line, legs are straight, coming forward to a slight angle. The first one, we have the knee and the toes rotated up on that top leg as much as possible. We do a quick exhale, lifting the leg. Inhale, slowly lowering. So point the toes. Exhale, swing it all the way up. Inhale, flex the foot and lower. Here's 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, rest it down for a few moments. Next is the teeny circles, 10 to each direction. Lift the top leg up level with the hip. Going for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reverse, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. A few extra breaths. Okay, this next one's the one where the legs swing straight in front of us. We bend the leg, send it straight back behind us. So top hand is planted, especially so we don't rock the shoulders back and forward on this one. Top leg lifts up level with the hips. Straight leg starts to swing forward as far as you can reach. Bend the knee. The toes extend back until the leg is all the way straight back behind you. Going for 4, straight leg forward, bend the knee, and then extend it back. 3, and back. 2, and back. 1, and back. Right away, reverse. Bend the knee and begin to extend the toes forward in front of you. Straight leg to swing back. Bend the knee, straightening it forward. Keep it straight as you swing back. And here's 3, and back. 2, and back. 1, and back, and rest. And then our hot potatoes. Top foot taps down on the ground twice in front of the other leg, lifts up, and taps down twice behind. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and rest. Good, bend the knees, press into the hands to raise up. The hand that can grab the ankles holds on, other hand reaches up and over. Good, rising up. The bottom leg is the bottom stacked, and then the leg that was just working is the top stack for this fire log or double pigeon pose. Remember, if you can't quite do this, just drop it down, cross-legged shape instead. Keep the feet slightly flexed so you're not collapsing ankles, and then begin to walk forward. I definitely feel that area burning right now. Gently start to rise back up. There's gonna be one last thing I want us to do for strengthening the legs, and then we'll get to the last few minutes of nice, good, deep stretches in our body. And so a way that we can get up into this last shape is just rise up for a moment in downward facing dog. Lift the hips up nice and high. Float the right leg up to the sky. Step the right foot forward in between the hands. And with this one, stay on the back toes. That balance will be part of the challenge. If when you start to rise up to stand in just a moment, if the balance is not quite there, try spreading the feet, that left foot a little bit further to the left. Usually that's a good way to find more balance. So from here, we start to lift the torso up. We're in this good lunge shape. We're on the back toes. And from here, 10 times, we drop our weight down, getting the back knee a little bit closer to the ground and rise up. So here's 9, and up, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plant the hands down. Try to swing this right foot directly up into three-legged dog and drop it down. Second side, left leg floats. Step left foot in between hands. When you have the balance, start to rise upward. Once you've got yourself steadily here, we take 10, lowering down and up. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good work. From here, we want to make sure to stretch out our IT bands. So just step your feet together. Cross your right foot in front of your left foot. The pinky toes are close to one another. And then gradually start to make your way down into a forward fold. You should be feeling the IT band of the back leg, so that left one. Maybe hands stay up on the shins. Maybe they drop all the way down to the ground. You can either uncross feet now or roll your way up and then uncross when you're standing. So either way, we're rolling up, switch the feet out, coming back down onto that second side. Feel your breath slowing down. We're in this cooling down phase of the class, helping all those muscles that we're working so much, so hard, helping all of those to help start stretching and cooling. That way we build lean muscles rather than bulky muscles. Notice all the points of your body, any surface area that's touching the ground. Can you imagine those roots again? Maybe your fingertips are touching and you've got 10 little teeny roots there, as well as your 2 feet. Take another good inhale. Exhale, rising up. When your feet are uncrossed, come down into downward facing dog shape. From here, float the right leg up to the sky. Step the right foot to the outside of right hand, and then drop the back knee down. A few breaths in lizard pose. You're welcome to stay on both hands. The hands are on the inside of the foot. If you want to drop down to one elbow or both elbows, that's also perfectly fine. Just depends on how open your hips are right now. Good, coming back up onto the hands. We're going to take this into pigeon pose. So the right toes need to heel toe their way all the way over to the left until the side of that right knee can drop down. If it's too much for the knee to form a 90-degree angle, tuck the toes inward instead. Make sure the hips are level with the ground as we start to drop down onto elbows. We're never resting all the way onto one hip or the other. And a few good breaths right here. I love how this one helps me to feel even into the psoas on that left hip. That anytime we did leg lifts, the psoas, especially when we're laying on our back, the psoas is one of those important muscles for that. Good, and from here we take another IT band stretch. This is one of my favorite stretches. What we do is purposely rock all the way onto the right hip. This right leg extends straight off to the left side. So you've got a straight left leg behind you and a straight right leg off to that left side. If this 90-degree angle is too much, you can lower down the angle. If you want to increase difficulty, you can raise the angle. But from here, whatever angle you choose, you're trying to square the shoulders back down and then drop down onto one or both elbows in front of you. So what I love about this is that the weight of my body is resting onto the IT band as we're allowing it to stretch. Now, if you don't really feel the stretch, one thing you can do if you happen to have a block close by is prop that ankle up even higher. That's a good way to get into it. But no need to go get up and grab one if you don't have one close by. This is just the last couple of poses to wrap ourselves up. Okay, start to bend this knee. We come up to the downward facing dog for that second side. Lifting hips up high, float the left toes. Step left foot to outside of left hand, drop down onto the back knee. Either stay right here on elbows or start to drop downward. Up on hands or down on elbows. Planting the hands, heel toe the left toes over to the right side until that knee can drop down for pigeon pose. Relaxing down into sleeping pigeon. Even here, can you feel the roots of your whole body touching down into the earth? Okay, lastly, the IT band stretch. Rock all the way on to the left hip. Straighten the left leg off to that right side as high up as you want it to go. Both legs are trying to stay straightish. And then turn your torso forward, trying to drop down onto one elbow or both as the shoulders are trying to square back down to the ground. Two more beautiful breaths right here. And from here, dropping immediately down into our Shavasana Pose. Find yourself laying all the way down onto the ground. Immediately finding contact with those roots. And those roots are what's going to lead us in toward our relaxing state here for Shavasana. Making sure our body knows how to integrate all the work that we just did. So just keep your breath flowing, huge inhales. Wonderful, relaxed exhales. Begin to deepen your inhales and your exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like you're waking up first thing in the morning. And eventually rolling over to a nice fetal position on one side. Just enjoying a couple of really good deep breaths right here. Eventually rising up to a nice seated position, just whatever position is comfortable for your body. Joining hands together in front of the heart. We take this moment once again to feel our energetic roots. What quality do they take on? Are they a golden quality? Are they a nice silver, deep root? Are they thick? Are they like strings? There's all different types of roots. So just feel into them for a moment. Another 2 or 3 beautiful breaths. And then with this idea of grounding and rooting ourselves down, with that idea to help us transition in toward a marvelous day today, let's wrap up this time we got to share together with the sound of Om. Inhaling together now. Om. May we all be filled with light and happiness and peace. Namaste.